Welcome back to Dreamwalker Tarot. My name is Dawn, and this is the October reading for Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mercury. So I'm going to start with doing a 5-card spread using the Grand Lenormand Oracle deck for you guys, just to get like a general idea of what the energy is going to be for this month for you guys. So the first card is the Star card, the Rider. We have the birds in the middle. We have the ring. And one more card, the mouse. So at the center of this is the bird. So this is like nervous energy, but it's also is an indication of gossip. So some of you might be getting some information coming in. It might be a person that comes in. They come to give you some gossip. They're bringing you some gossip about someone's deteriorating marriage or deteriorating situation. This might have been something that you weren't necessarily clear about before in the past. It might have been a little bit of obscured energy surrounding this. But now there's someone coming in to kind of like drop that little bit of juicy gossip on you about someone's commitment. It could be a contract. It could be a marriage that is not necessarily going well, right? It's a little weird because the Star card is talking about like, you know, the thing that you wish for the most, like the thing that is like it's your wildest and craziest dream. And it feels like this writer is bringing you information about what is bringing you happy news. It does feel a little bit gossipy. I'm not gonna lie, with the birds here, it does feel gossipy, but it's something that you felt like you would never hear in like your wildest dreams, right? It might have been something that you actually dreamt about. It might have also been something that you were kind of worried wasn't going to happen. You might have been in a space where you kind of like were losing faith about this thing happening. But it does feel like you're going to be getting some good news soon. For some of you, this could be some sort of an interview. But it is like a one-on-one conversation with someone, or a conversation with a person. It's just like a spoken correspondence. Like I said, the writer is about someone that actually comes to see you and comes to speak to you, and they have information to give you, and it's happy news. It feels like you might have been a little bit nervous about some sort of commitment or something that was promised to you. There really does feel like a lot of saucy gossip surrounding this situation, right? It could be about I don't want to say, it could be it could be about an affair of sorts. You know, someone's marriage not being, you know, kind of like being on the rocks a little bit. And I don't know why you would have been wishing for somebody's marriage to be on the rocks. But it seems like someone might be breaking up, and it feels like happy news to you. I'm only going to tell you what I see, right? I mean, for some of you, there's also this element of like a marriage, a relationship that's not necessarily on the best path. There is like a sense of nervousness about the level of commitment that's happening here. And so it's kind of weird that it goes forward. Some of you, it can be that you might be hearing about someone getting married that you didn't think was going to get married because the relationship wasn't necessarily in the best place. But ultimately, we're talking about some good news here, right? So we're going to go into look at the Rider-Waite deck. We'll do 6 cards there and see what is happening for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising this month. The message for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for October. We got the Sun in reverse. So, I mean, the Sun card is never really a bad card. You know, whatever is happening is only happening for a brief moment in time, and then it's over. Some of you could be dealing with a Taurus person. You might have had some plans falling through. If you were looking forward to going on a trip of sorts, you might have found out that the trip was delayed or the trip was canceled, right? With the 3 of Wands in the reverse. So some of you, again, could have been planning a trip with a individual. Could have been Aries, an Aries person. Or you might have Aries in your chart. And like I said, the trip might have been canceled. It might have been canceled due to responsibilities or financial responsibilities that you had at home, or something related to your home life, or something going on at home that kind of caused you to not be able to take this trip, right? In the conscious realm, it feels like you are trying to create something. So some of you, like in the last spread, we had to talk about commitment, a talk about marriage, potential marriage, being nervous about that. And I feel like in the conscious realm, this is something that you are trying to create. Like you're trying to create and be in the space of creating, whether you want to get married, you want to create just a good life for yourself overall. Some of you might be trying to have a child. And so that is kind of like something that you are working on right now. For some of you, this might be the reason why you had to cancel the trip, because you found out that you were with child, and so you're kind of like hesitant about going on this trip. And so for some of you, if you have been waiting to get pregnant, this could be the good news that you've been nervous about kind of coming to you. On the subconscious, we have the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords is rushing, right? Is kind of like rushing. It's really a sense of having a lot of passion for something, really wanting to move forward with something. And it feels like you're trying to move towards this space where you're in a space of being financially secure and having like a family of your own, and just having long-term financial stability and success. And so that is something that you are actively working on. For some of you, you can be dealing with a Libra person, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, right? And in the outcome, we have the Lovers in reverse. So whenever I see the Knight of Swords, I mean, passion is always a good thing to have, but I always think that it's essential that when you're dealing with matters of the heart and relationships, that rushing into them is never a good thing. You want to work on the level of communication that you have with the person. The Lover's card is for Gemini. So some of you might be dealing with a Gemini individual. It could be a Virgo. It could be Taurus, Taurian energy as well, or Libra energy is on the board as well. In terms of dealing with a relationship dynamic, my suggestion is never to rush into these things, because there is a level of communication and trust that it needs to be built between two people for something to be long lasting and to really navigate forward in a long-term kind of way, which is obviously something that you want. For some of you, you might have come out of a relationship and now you're trying to kind of navigate into this space also with someone. It might be someone new, but it could also be trying to regain and rekindle something that you had with someone before. Let us pull some clarifying cards. I actually think I want to use the Modern Witch deck to do clarifiers. I want to see, what is it like with the sun in reverse, right? I'm going to look at that. We want to look at the Lover's card, and I want to get some clarification about the Knight of Swords. And I do feel like you're in a good place, romantically speaking. It feels really good, right? So what is the Sun card in reverse here for? What is the Sun card in reverse here for? Okay. So the Sun card is being clarified by the Five of Wands and the World card, which to me, like, it feels like there is a little bit of descent in like this happiness that you have going on. The Five of Wands is about, if it's argumentative, there's an argument happening here. The communication is kind of off. It just feels like a very angsty type situation, right? So there's a lot of fighting, anger. It feels like it came out of nowhere for some of you. But it feels like this is something that keeps happening. It feels like this is an argument that keeps repeating itself. And for whatever reason, you are unable to kind of navigate into a space where you're not having this argument all the time. It's kind of like deterring the nature of the relationship because the argument keeps happening over and over again. And again, we have Leo energy here. We have Aquarian energy, we have Scorpio, and we have Taurus. And I feel like I just literally called all those cards out earlier. We have Libra again, the Justice card. So there has to be some, it feels like there's a little bit of off balance energy in the dynamic. It does feel like a relationship dynamic, right? But it feels like there's a little bit of off balance energy happening here. It feels like a lot of this is, like I said, is a reoccurring thing that keeps happening, and someone needs to make a decision about what it is that's going to happen. Like someone needs to say, okay, this is where we're going. What is the Lover's card here for? We're going to make a decision about this. Yeah, the Lover's card is being defined by the Devil. So it kind of feels like this toxic pattern that keeps happening. Like I said, there's like this cycle, like over and over, like you keep having the same argument, you keep having the same discussions. But ultimately it feels like you're still trying to move forward with the situation, because it feels like for you, you're trying to reclaim this level of security, financial security. You're trying to claim family. You're trying to make sure that you are in a space where you have something that's long lasting. But I don't know if you can do that if you're in a situation where you keep having the same arguments and the same discussions over and over again, and it's not being adjudicated. It's not being decided on, like, okay, well, we're having this argument. Where's this argument coming from? What do we need to do to fix this issue and then move forward? The communication aspect here is kind of off. It's kind of wonky. You guys aren't really speaking to each other in the way that you should, at least in the way that gets the problem resolved, and that's why the issue keeps coming up over and over and over again. I want to look at the Knight of Swords. What is the Knight of Swords here for? I do feel like there is like a little bit of a rush into this dynamic, trying to kind of like force something a little bit more, or trying to make it ready when it's not necessarily ready. There has to be some time to figure out. Yeah, this is the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. So we have the Ten of Pentacles out twice here. The Ten of Pentacles in reverse is clarifying the Knight of Swords. I do feel like it's like you're rushing. If you look at it like this, it's like you're in one situation and now you're rushing to another one, right? So you have an ended situation, and you're kind of like rushing from one relationship into the next, repeating the same patterns, repeating the same cycles, and not learning, you know, not being able to navigate without feeling like you're kind of being held back and things don't necessarily, they might start out good, they might work out, and then it's like, you know, it doesn't work out the way you want it to work out, and then you're moving from one situation into the next, but because you want this, you desire that family structure, that household, that love, your own family. You want to, you know, you want to be okay, and I feel like you're kind of trying to make that happen. But I think there's an element here of looking again at what patterns you might be repeating, what toxic traits you might have or your partner might be having, that because it feels like you're entering into the same thing over and over and over again, and that's not going to help. So you have to kind of come to a decision or a conclusion about what it is that's hindering your moving forward in relationships, because that does seem to be an issue here for the life that you're trying to create. What is the advice? Okay. What does this card say? New beginnings. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like you might be in a space where something has ended, or if it hasn't ended, it's about to end, or it's just ended and now you're looking to move on. And I feel like before you move on, you should take a beat and figure out what it is that you're repeating. What cycles are you repeating in this relationship or in all of your relationships that keep with the same outcome, right? What's the arguing for? What's the arguing for? Okay, so new beginnings. Water, emotions, energy, all life affirming and life giving. Patience is the key. Once the deluge of emotion passes, you will see that left in its wake is a wondrous new day, a rainbow of possibilities. Do not get attached to the emotions that surround the situation. This will only attach your identification with the emotion itself, giving it more power and hindering the release, so that the door to your new beginning will not open. Sit in the emotion, cry, journal, talk it out with a friend, and then let it go. Perform a ritual if you are called to one. Place your feelings on a bit of paper and let it go, whether through water or fire, both excellent transmuting elements. Be thankful for the experience of the situation and proclaim to Creator that you are ready for the newness that is about to come into your life. But before you can do that, you have to release whatever it is that's holding you back, right? It's holding you back from the potential to move forward into a new cycle. So this is an opportunity for a new start, an opportunity for a new cycle. But before you do that, you got some work to do. You got to sit down with yourself. You got to figure out, you know, and release a lot of these things that you're holding on to that are creating these patterns in your life. You need to figure out what this pattern is. And once you do, you'll be able to move forward and not be in a repetitive, you know, what is it? Gym tan laundry? Is that what GTL? Gym tan laundry, or wash, rinse, repeat, whatever you want to say. Like, you got to break out of that cycle. Okay? So this is the end of your reading, Scorpio. I want to thank you for listening. I really appreciate you for being here. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend who you feel could benefit from the message here, and also hit the bell for post notifications. Thank you again for listening, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.